Welcome to episode 118 of Books and Bites.
Great to be here.
Today we're diving deep into something pretty fundamental for, well, anyone who reads.
And our guide for this exploration is Tim Ferriss's Tools of Titans. It's an amazing collection where he's essentially distilled the wisdom of over 100 high achievers.
Right. And you, listening, you're probably here because you want actionable insights.
Yeah.
Key takeaways without getting totally bogged down in, overwhelming detail.
So think of this deep dive as a bit of a shortcut, a way to understand what makes a book significant, using Tools of Titans as, well, our case study.
Exactly. It's such a rich landscape to pull from. So let's start with maybe the most obvious thing about this book.
Which is how Tools of Titans itself really embodies that first key element, the power of distillation. I mean, Ferriss took just countless hours of interviews, of conversations, and meticulously pulled out the most potent insights, the core stuff.
And for the reader, for us, that's just a massive advantage, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You get this concentrated hit of knowledge. It saves you all the time and effort of sifting through everything yourself.
Yeah.
It really shows how valuable it is when someone synthesizes things clearly.
He's done the hard work of curating, basically, so we can just focus on the lessons. And another thing that jumps out right away is the focus on practical application.
Yes. This isn't just high-level thinking. It's very much about the actual tactics, the routines, the habits these successful people use day to day.
And that, I think, is a huge element of a valuable book. Does it give you concrete strategies, things you can actually replicate and apply in your own life?
Whether that's for, health or wealth or wisdom.
Yeah.
Which conveniently are the book's main sections.
Yeah, that thematic organization, healthy, wealthy, and wise, that structure itself is another really valuable element, don't you think?
Definitely. It enhances the usefulness massively. By grouping things like that, Ferriss lets you kind of zoom in on what you need right now. Makes it so much easier to navigate.
It's not just neat, it actually helps you absorb and remember the information. Clarity of structure is just... well, it's key in any informative book.
Right. And as you move through these sections, through all these different voices, something else starts to happen. You notice patterns.
Ah, yes, the recurring themes. Like the meditation example Ferriss points out.
Exactly. He observed that, around 80% of the people he interviewed practiced some form of mindfulness or meditation.
Which is staggering when you think about the diversity of the group.
It really is. And highlighting these recurring themes, it strengthens the book's core messages. It suggests these aren't just, random habits, but maybe fundamental elements of high performance.
So a good book uses diverse examples to reveal those underlying principles, which leads nicely to the next point, actually.
The value of including those diverse perspectives in the first place.
Precisely. Look at the healthy section. You get so many different takes on morning routines, fitness, diet, sleep.
It's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Yeah.
And that variety is so important. It recognizes that, we're all different.
Yeah, it empowers you, the reader, to find what actually resonates with your own life, your own preferences. It gives you options, not just a strict prescription.
A menu of possibilities, yeah. Rather than just do this.
Okay, so we've got distillation, practical application, structure, recurring themes, diverse perspectives. What about the thinking side?
Ah, yes. The wealthy section, for instance, really emphasizes mental models and frameworks. Tools for thinking, essentially.
Like Naval Ravikant's ideas on wealth creation, or Peter Thiel's contrarian stuff.
Exactly. Or even Ferriss's own fear-setting exercise he talks about. A really powerful book doesn't just give you facts. It equips you with new ways of thinking, new lenses for looking at problems.
Structured ways to approach challenges, not just opinions.
And then the wise section kind of builds on that, moving into broader philosophical territory, right?
Yeah, exploring things like stoicism, getting insights on creativity from people like Stephen Pressfield, or learning strategies from Josh Waitzkin.
It encourages that deeper reflection. It provides philosophical frameworks for navigating life, finding meaning. It goes beyond just the practical how-to.
A truly valuable book pushes you towards that deeper understanding, I think.
Which involves understanding ourselves, too.
And that maybe links to another element, the personal side.
You mean how Ferriss includes his own experiences, his own struggles and experiments?
Yeah. He's not just presenting these titans from afar. He talks about his own health journeys, his reflections on, mental well-being, that vulnerability.
That makes a huge difference, doesn't it? It makes the whole thing much more relatable, more impactful, maybe.
It grounds it, reminds you it's a human journey. With ups and downs.
That connection is key. And then bringing it all back to the practical, there are those really specific, actionable takeaways.
Like the not to-do list, that's a classic.
It is. It's not abstract advice. It's a concrete tool you could literally start using. That focus on clear, implementable steps is definitely a hallmark of a book that delivers real value. It empowers change.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. If we use Tools of Titans as our example, the key elements making a book really valuable seem to be...
Well, there's that expert distillation we started with.
Right, distillation. Then the strong focus on practical application.
Clear, thematic organization or structure.
Identifying those recurring themes across different people.
Including diverse perspectives and approaches.
Providing useful mental models and frameworks for thinking.
Encouraging that deeper philosophical reflection.
The relatability that comes from sharing personal experiences, maybe some vulnerability.
And finally, those concrete, actionable takeaways. The things you can actually do.
That's quite a list. But knowing these elements gives you, the listener, a kind of framework, doesn't it?
Yeah, a way to be more critical, maybe more discerning, when you choose what to read next. To find the stuff that will genuinely help you learn and grow.
Absolutely. Being aware of these things helps you engage more deeply and ultimately get more value from your reading time.
And it's interesting how they often connect. Like, good structure helps you spot the themes. Diverse views enrich the practical advice. It all works together.
So as we wrap up this deep dive using Tools of Titans as our guide, we've hit on distillation, practical advice, structure, themes, diverse views, mental models, philosophy, personal stories, and actionable steps.
And if you want to explore these elements further and just dive into that huge collection of wisdom, we definitely recommend grabbing a copy of Tools of Titans. There's a link in the description.
And of course, be sure to subscribe to Books and Bites for more deep dives like this one.
Definitely.
And one final thought to leave you with. Consider which of these elements may be the practical advice, the new thinking tools, or the philosophical guidings you prioritize most right now when you're looking for knowledge. How might focusing specifically on that element shape your next reading experience?